this. Charlie gets killed, and the final frag.
Oh, brilliant game.
Through, that's the kill. You can see them.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to TangoLive. My name is OrangePulse and today I'm joined by FeverReaver. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing alright. How are you doing today?
I am doing swell. So she's going to be guest starring today, maybe more in the future. It's to be decided, but I apologize beforehand if anything seems a little weird for those of you watching the stream or in the recording later on. I haven't slept much and she's over there making faces, so
yeah,
it seems like
I'm nervous.
This is gonna be fun.
I'm trying to make myself laugh.
All right. So do you want to start or should I start?
Yeah. I'll just throw it over to me. Just be like, and here's Fever with Tango News, and like she's gonna like recap, you know, random shit.
No, we don't do it all that official like anymore.
Oh, but I wanna.
Oh, you wanna? Okay. And here's Fever with Tango News.
Alright, yeah, thanks.
There you go.
Alright, yo, so to make this kind of quick, upcoming events, there's going to be a Tango 10-man this coming Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You know, these 10-mans are like a really good way for like the community to all kind of come together because, you know, not very many of us play comp with each other. So, you know, you just hop in the 10-man, you just get wrecked by Balin and Juicy, and then, you know, it's over. But as far as like official events go and everything, if you have any ideas for official events, you need to kick those over to Mafia, Sornerock, Tyler, and Void Ops. And the TangoLive, or not TangoLive, but the Tango TV stream team was like just announced today. Like we have like kind of a roster in the works, but if you want to be on that stream team, or if you don't like want to be on the team, but like you want to like shoutcast or whatever, you just need to get a hold of Frigid. By the way, you can find all these people in our official roster. There's also going to be a competitive in-house between all of our competitive Tango teams. KJP is the manager of those. I don't know all the members off the top of my head, but it's going to be from April 3rd to April 5th, and between 5 to 8 of Tango's own teams will be competing in those. There's also a staff position available on Gmod. NIST needs mods. The Dallas servers specifically, but most Gmod servers do have like open enrollment for staff. Adam also recently just updated the B-Hop server with some new maps. But as far as my division goes, I've been working on a Jailbreak Dust 2 map recently, as well as a competitive map, and Tango Mapping is also going to be a project that hopefully we'll be seeing pretty soon. We don't really have like any specific like time on it yet. But Balin seems to really want this to happen. He wants it to like be a site for mappers and like include plugins, that way people can rate the maps live, so that way the best rated maps get played more. Especially like on our own servers, because we all know how salty some people get on map change. And also shouts out to a community member, Consuela, has been posting a fact of the day on the forums. I think it's in either off topic or general discussion, but like if you just want to like browse through to that, there's lots of like neat, interesting things in there. Like I thought it was like, no offense to Consuela, but I thought it was like really weak whenever I first looked at it, but there's like a lot of funny, interesting things in there, and some of them have like videos and pictures.
Also, for you guys that are watching now, and for those of you who are going to be watching this afterwards, I'm going to keep this bit in, if we're, at least I am looking at doing live Tango Lives at some point more often. I think for our 20th or 25th, I'm thinking of doing a live Tango Live, and then I'll record that, and I don't know if I'm going to edit it up or put it in raw for the actual video, but if you guys want to join in on that, I will put a link in the forums before I go to record. I should be recording that on the usual day, Thursday, Friday, something of that sort. So if you guys want to come in, put in some suggestions, it can be like a Q&A and ask me anything type of thing. If you want to get into that sort of a thing, then please feel free. otherwise, so was that it for Tango News?
Yeah, I think that's going to be just about all for the news section. Right, and speaking of the community, OrangePulse, do you want to share the story of how you managed to make your way into Tango? And then maybe I'll tell everyone about how I managed to make my way into this fucking community.
Sure thing. So, what some of you may or may not know, I was a part of what was called at the time Silver Bucket. Joined in because one of my friends introduced me to the community. I got to know Mobs, Doomy, Alucard, Freeman, Full Life, a bunch of other people that may or may not still be in the community here. I got to know them, we got to be closer and closer friends, and then all of a sudden, Doomy was like, hey, I want to do this, and Mobs was like, alright, I'm bored anyways, so they switched it up and made it into Zen Refuge, and that ended up a couple months later. I don't remember exactly how long it was. I don't want to say it was more than 6 months after we changed it to Zen Refuge. All of a sudden, there was a notice I got where we were merging with Tango, and I had never heard of Tango or any of this sort of stuff. I was a pretty big stranger to forums in general, so when we made forums for Zen Refuge, I was a little green to the whole thing, so I was a little scared and intimidated of going onto the forums and trying to do all of that stuff. I made my own little section, but not enough people were actually on the forums to go and look at the media section when I was heading the media project, which failed miserably. I apologize. But also, at that point, we were going from a small group where basically it was the main leaders that were on the TeamSpeak and a couple other people who I knew pretty well, and then there were a bunch of people that played on our servers, which may or may not have been part of Zen Refuge or Silver Bucket, things of that sort. So when we went into Tango, and all of a sudden we switched over from TeamSpeak to Mumble and went into this community of, like, I think it was like almost 1,000 people at the time when I joined in. I don't know how many people.
Yeah, well, like, probably like 1,000 like registrations. I think that like our official member count's hovering at around like 500 now or so.
Okay, but yeah, it was I want to say it was like back in September when I officially joined into Tango. And as I said, I was pretty intimidated by the sheer size of it and the amount of people. I didn't know anybody, I just knew the people that I knew. So I was trying to talk with them and keep with them, and then all of a sudden everybody was splitting off and doing their own thing, meeting other people, and I was like, I'm gonna go back over here and just hide in a corner. And eventually that went from that to me getting a new job. I was fresh out of high school, went into college, and my life got really busy for a little while, and at that point I just basically stopped coming on Tango for a while. After a couple months, I want to say it was near December, Balin messaged me and he said, so are you gonna come back to Tango or what's going on there? And we got into a little discussion about it, you know, why I had left for a little bit and what was going on there. And he offered for me to take a leadership position in the media department, but I wasn't really looking. I mean, I'm glad I have a leadership position now. It does help me to get some things done that I wasn't able to do before, like organize things for TangoLive like this and other things like that. But beforehand, I wasn't really even looking for a leadership position. I was just looking to be a normal member, make some videos, do some streaming, you know, stuff like that at the time. And at that point, I had gotten, actually, backtrack a little bit, when I had first joined, Eric had come to me with the idea of TangoLive, and he also came to Full Life with the idea of TangoLive. So we ended up talking about it pretty in depth, and we were getting a plan together for when we wanted to do it, and we were going to get together to talk about a date that we could start recording, and, you know, what day, which week, you know, what would work out for us. And then all of a sudden that just never happened. So I left, I came back after a while, and shortly, like a week after I came back, Eric got a hold of me again, and we started doing TangoLive, and that's where this started. I think it was the official week 2 post was the first TangoLive that I was in, and ever since then I've been getting more involved with it because of TangoLive. I'm not on the servers a hell of a lot. I probably should be, but like I think the only server I've really played on, besides maybe mini games and TTT once or twice, is Jailbreak, and I've been on there maybe 4 times. I tried to get into Dark RP and it crashed my Gary's mod. So
yeah, because it was like a memory overflow, right?
Yes.
There's just so much shit.
I have 8 gigs of RAM. Sitting idly, I don't know why. My computer takes up 3.5 gigs of RAM.
Damn it.
You okay?
I had a cramp in my foot. Yeah. Carry on.
You're fine. Yeah, I normally, like, just sitting idly, my computer takes up 3.5 gigs of RAM. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it is. I built my computer. I know pretty much everything about it, except for what's doing what in the software department, what's safe to close, what isn't. You know, what stuff do I want to keep open? Why is it taking up so much fucking space? So yeah, when I went to go into Dark RP, all of a sudden I saw it just go up and up and up, max out my RAM. Then the game crashed and it said insufficient memory to play game. I was like, oh fuck. So I couldn't get into Dark RP. That's the story of Dark RP there. I think I mentioned it once before, but still. Yeah, the main point of that story is I'm not on the servers as much as I would like to be. I'm on the forums quite a bit. If you want to get a hold of me to play a game or talk about something, you want me to say something on TangoLive, anything of that sort, you can shoot me a PM on the servers. You can shoot me a message on Steam, Skype, email me. I don't give a fuck. I'll get around to it. I'll get around to it eventually. I'm not super busy at the moment, but I do have my days where I am pretty busy, so as soon as I can get to you, I will. But yeah, other than that, that's about the entire story of my involvement with Tango. So, after that monological debacle, do you want to take over? And,
yeah, I'll like have to like struggle through the pain. Dude, I don't know why, but like it's not even like a cramp like in the middle of my foot. It's like my fucking third toe and my fourth toe are like both cramping, and like whenever I took my shoe off, it like hurt a lot more than I thought it would. But anyways, though, like I joined Tango for the first time last June, actually. So like I've been like around for a while. Like a lot of like new members don't remember me, but like I initially joined under the name Streetlights. And
yeah, because I remember hearing Valorant calling you Streetlights all the time.
Yeah, well, I mean, shit, like most of the people who are in council now only know me as Streetlights. Like they refuse to call me Fever. No, like I remember, and I like the community, but like I've never like, and I still don't to this day. Like I don't like putting a tag in front of my name. Like I don't like feeling like I'm branded. Like I still don't really like that much, but you know, it's whatever. Like I'm essentially like indifferent to it at this point. But whenever I joined, I was talking to Alex, one of our current co-owners, but at the time he was the divisional leader. Like he was just in charge of the minigame server. And I was like, all right, Alex, like I like this community and I like hanging out with you and like Zeph and Risky and Valen. So like sell me on the idea of Tango. And he was like, well, like there's really not that much difference between being a member and not being a member, so why not? And that's basically like what it boiled down to. I was like, well, you know, like I do like this community and I enjoy this server, so you know, like why not, right? And like I put in an application and like I withdrew it because of like a personal issue, but then like I ended up like resubmitting the application like 5 minutes before the council meeting, and then I was in Tango for about half a year. Like I've been around Tango like more than half the time it's even existed. Well, and not only that though, but I was like around like that summer right there, like the summer of 2014 was like the summer where Tango like really like started to get big, you know, like because whenever I joined, it's like now like they're kind of like stricter about like who they like, they're a lot more willing to like kick people out, but like even though we're kicking people out like every council meeting, we still have like over 500 official members right now. Whereas on the flip side, back then we had 150 official members, but half of them like weren't even wearing their tag. There were more like 100 like tops, you know.
Yeah.
And out of those 100, only like half of those were even active on the servers. The rest of them just played competitive together. But then that fall, like I got busy with like work and stuff, and I slacked off on some things that Balin asked me to do. Like admittedly, I did slack pretty hard. But on New Year's, it wasn't on New Year's, it was like right before New Year's, he dropped me from the council, and I was like super salty about that, so I just left. And like I always like kind of had like the intention of rejoining. I just didn't know it would be this soon. But then like I actually reapplied like just well, now that it's after midnight, just 7 days ago, 3/21/2015 for people who are watching this in the future. But like I'm really glad to be back. Like I feel like I have this fire in me to like really try and do shit for this community, because it's like even though I'm just like a map maker, I consider myself like a Tango connoisseur. Like I do a little bit of everything. Like I'm on the forums a lot. Like I have admin again. Like I just recently donated for admin again, and now like I can manage the servers, and like I play comp and I stream. Like even though it's not like for Tango, like a lot of people from Tango like do come to the stream. I try and populate the servers like that too. It's pretty cool whenever I'm like, whenever there's like 10 people in the stream and I'm just like, hey, go and join this server, and then like a few of them just go and like join it with me and we just hang out. Especially at like 4 in the morning, because I'm normally streaming at like 5 a.m. But yeah, I mean that's basically the story of how I joined Tango. But to kind of roll this on over into esports news, moving away from Tango just a little bit, I think we're gonna go ahead and play the clip of the week right here. Okay. And then yeah, and this is an ace from Twist. He's a part of Team Property, and it's versus Flipside. It's pretty sick. He manages to kill all 5 CTs on cash with an AK-47. Like he just rolls them, you know. Like his positioning is really great on him. But I'll just let you all watch this clip real quick. Damn it, dude! I did it again. I tried to wink and I just blinked. Hang on, let me like. There we go. Now we roll the clip.
I'll patch that in.
No, and, don't even patch it in. Just fucking leave all this shit in too. All right.
I've been counting on you to break loose and
holy fuck.
Alright, so we see Twist here over at the B-bomb site. He catches his first CT out under heaven, and then he sprays the second one down, like manages to headshot him like mid-spray, like 10 bullets down, and then he pushes through the smoke out into garden and gets this fucking long-range spray all the way across CT, and then he kills these last 2 in hell, like right outside of hell. And just like excellent like positional play, you know, like that's like what separates, you know, like the good players from the great players. The great players are always in that like right position, you know, or like the good players have a good moment. Like I don't know if I would call Twist like one of the greats, you know, but he does his job pretty damn well, in my opinion.
Very, very good ace.
I'm pretty sure that was actually all in one magazine too. Like I think that's like another, you know, point of note. Like he managed to kill all 5 members. I don't know if I'm trying to remember. I think he might have reloaded when he pushed smoke, but anyways, moving on from that. Well, actually, also hang on, not moving on from that, but in that same game, Schneider got, I think it was 2 off aces, and he had a 29 KD. Like he was 29 frags over it. I think it was like like 48 to 19.
God damn.
I think that's right. Yeah, that game actually ended in an MR5 overtime at the scoreline 21-16. So I mean, Flipside put up a good fight, but Schneider managed to like really pull them over the line there. Schneider's also a former member of Fnatic. Like I think he played with them when they won their first major, like DreamHack winner 2013. I don't know. Frigid would like be rolling in his grave, his living grave, if he saw me. Like I thought, like me and him were just talking about, like Frigid is actually the one who recommended this clip. If you want to talk to someone who knows a lot about competitive CSGOs, go see that guy. And also, as far as CSGO competitive news goes, Valve has recently announced that they're going to remove Nuke from the active duty map pool and replace it with a new version of Train. Now, like, the new version of Train is, like, kind of iffy, but, like, I was just wanting to know, like, you know, as far as the community goes, what would you all think about, like, changes to Nuke? Like, what would you want to do to change Nuke? 3 Clicks Philip and Adren both have, like, suggested some... Adren's change is really simple. I think that his changes could, like, really help, like, prevent the map from being so damn CT-sided. 3 Clicks Phillips, his changes are, like, a lot more radical, but he's actually a very prominent figure in the mapping community, and he actually, like, made his changes. I think someone made the changes based on Adren's video too, but I haven't, like, seen what those actually look like in-game. And it's like, I'm not, like, really familiar with, like, Dota 2 or League of Legends esports, but, you know, for Dota 2 at least, the International is going to be coming up this August. If any of you, you know, enjoy watching professional MOBAs, you know, obviously you'll know the International. But I think it's, like, kind of interesting that Dota 2 and CSGO are both under the same roof over a Valve, but the tournament system for the majors is drastically different. Like, really the only tournament that matters to most Dota 2 players is the International 5. Like, that is, like, the tournament to be in and to win. It's a very big deal. And then slipping on over to League real quick, North America actually took their first international title at Katowice, like, while I don't know if it was, I think it was actually in the same building as the CSGO major, but, you know, congrats to them. I think this might be good for, like, all of North American esports, like, now that at least in League of Legends we've managed to secure an international title. Dude, like, I can't even, like, list most, you know, or any North American teams that I've ever, like, seen win, like, big international events. We're really slacking.
Now, this will probably sound racist, but it's probably like 90% true. I think the country that wins the most is Korea?
Yeah, as far as League goes, like, the League is really popular in Korea, and, like, the you know, the competitive League teams, they're like, well, it also has a lot to do with the way that, like, Riot has set up the whole thing. Like, I don't know, like, the specifics of it, but it's, like, almost essentially, like, babying the NA, or not CS teams, but the NA, like, League teams. And they, like, because it's, like, region-based, you know? Like,
yeah.
All, like, the top 16 in Korea are, like, the top 16 in the world. I mean, not that I can say that with, like, any sort of merit, but it's, like, you know, even, like, the 16th place Korean team might be better than, like, the 3rd or 4th place North American team, but the North American 3rd or 4th still gets to go. Well, you know, I also think that relating this back to a bit of knowledge that I do know, like, as far as CS is anyways, after Cologne, I think it was, at Cologne, no, not Cologne, DreamHack winner 2014, Cloud9 went out in group stages. Like, they went out, like, in the first, like, you know, part of the tournament, you know, like, that's, like, the worst you can, well, not, like, the worst, like, they went, like, 1 to 2 or some shit like that. But after that was over with, they all got raises, and it's like, you know, if you, like, fuck up and go out in groups, you know, and you're getting a raise, and it's, you know, as long as you can just make it to the group stage every time, why the fuck should you ever care to improve, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Like you're still making, like, now that, like, esports has, like, gotten a lot bigger and we have, like, the infrastructure to support it, it's almost like in the countries where you don't get raises based on, like, how well you do in tournaments, but, like, you just get raises based on, like, how popular you are. Like, I feel like that's really gonna hurt, like, a lot of the drive that not only players but entire teams had to like improve, you know,
Yeah.
because like sponsors were always the thing. So it was like you either, you know, win or you're just fucked. Like if you don't win, then you can't be, you know, an esports player.
sponsor
Like you
is
can't.
not gonna
Yeah,
win.
exactly.
But if you have a separate company besides a sponsor paying for your shit, you know, you get a raise from failing the competition
Right,
in the
exactly,
first fucking
yeah.
round. You know, exactly what you're saying. You get a raise from that sort of a thing. That's not exactly going to give you sort of like push to get better. It's just like, oh, I got a raise because I got there. I'll just keep at the same level I'm at, you know? So
Right,
I
yeah.
know exactly what you're talking about.
Like it's like, especially with Shroud and Nothing, like where they stream so much, it's like they've almost gone to prove that there's like a lot more money in just like streaming and like getting your personality out there than there ever will be in like actually like being better, you know?
Yeah.
It's not like they've given up, but it's more like, you know, it's like as long as they still keep getting paid, then, you know, why should they care? I mean, like if I was in their shoes, I might like have some of the same
Yeah.
like some of like the same hindrances, I suppose. But it's mainly I mean, but it's like, you know, it's not like Cloud9 will ever like admit that that's how they truly feel. It's more just like they say that they want to get better, but like they don't have any real reason to, you know. There's no drive, there's no motivation to be like the #1 team as long as they're still getting paid. Like as long as like they can just continue to like stagnate and go out in groups at every single major, and you know they might still just have their sponsors. They might get tired of it eventually, but you know.
Yeah. I mean, and the same in regular sports beyond esports. Like, for example, the one that I do know because I've actually followed it somewhat is football. My local team, the Buffalo Bills, suck. Like, really bad. I think the last time they went to a Super Bowl was in the 90s. And even then, I think they've only been to a Super Bowl a couple times. Like, they've never won it. So, I mean, with that sort of a thing, you have this position of, you know, we're pretty bad, and it's all a bunch of seasoned people who are getting a really good amount of money. So there's not really, as you said, you know, there's not really that drive. But then if you look at, for example, who won 2 years ago, the Seahawks, it was all a bunch of newbies, and they're trying to get their name out, get their image out. So I think something we might end up seeing is less of people that are experienced trying to get better at first, and more of rookies trying to get their name out who are pretty damn good.
Right,
getting
yeah.
better and better, making that push, and then beating the old guys. And hopefully that'll give the old guys a push to say, hey, maybe we should try to get better. So,
Dude, it's, you know what though, like it's like, do you know very much about like the iBuyPower like throwing incident or whatever?
no,
Like,
I've never heard of it.
yeah, well, I mean, like this happened like a little while ago, but basically, like, you know, on CS:GO Lounge you can like bet skins and shit, right?
Yeah.
There was like some match fixing going on, and there were a whole bunch of people that got banned, but this one in particular, Steel, dude, I almost feel like his stream has gotten like 10 times more popular since he's been banned, like, because now like he has like that recognition. I mean, like, he's not like a professional player anymore. Like, he's not allowed to play like in essentially any tournaments.
Yeah.
Especially like majors. Like, you can't go to like Valve sponsored events because Valve actually, like, literally Valve put him on their shit list. It was like on like their main website. They never update that fucking thing, but when this happened, they put his name on there along with like 6 or 7 other people, and they're just never allowed to. I mean, it doesn't say never, it just says like they're banned indefinitely. I mean, but what the fuck does indefinitely even mean? But yeah, like, I mean, like, I don't know, like, I wish that, I mean, because it's like, you know, I feel like people should, like people who are like really passionate and can even make it to that level, it's almost disheartening to like not really see them like want to improve, you know, like, or not have like that drive to improve.
It's just like with any athlete, you know, like if you start to follow them, whether it's a team or a specific person, you start to idolize them, you know, just seeing them all of a sudden, like, I did good enough, you know, and as you said, the one team that failed the first round, they got a raise, you know, oh, I did enough. You know, it's really not great for people that enjoy watching them and following them, because if they're just not going to give any
Well, it was like especially like at Katowice, like it was almost like weird in a way because like I would go into the match and I always found myself like rooting for the underdog. Not because like I was like intentionally picking that, but it was because like I was even like rooting against teams that like I bet on like in the pick'em challenge. Not even because I was like, all right, like I'm just gonna go and I'm just gonna like hope that the underdog wins like every damn time. It was more of just like I just want to see some good fucking Counter-Strike, you know? Like I just want to see like really good matches. Like I want every match to be close. Like so like if you know if a team's down like 10-4 or whatever, like I want the team who's down 4 to win 6 rounds in a row and put themselves like in a winnable position. But I mean like especially, well, not like especially recently, but like at Katowice, like other than like a few, well, I don't know, like there always seems to be like a few close games, but it's never like well, like for example, there's like this matchup between Keydstars and Virtus.pro, and like I wanted Virtus.pro to win like before I went in, and then Virtus.pro slaughtered Keydstars on Cobble, which was like the first map. I think it was like a 16-4 split by the time it was done with. But then like on the second map, it was Overpass and Keyd was like, I think that they were like losing in the beginning, but they managed to like bring it back and put it into overtime, and then they won it in overtime. You know, like I love like I wish that, not that I wish every match would go into overtime, but you know, it was like, you know, like but then like on the third map it was a stomp too, like so it was all really for naught, but they did manage to pick up a map, like this little Brazilian team managed to pick up a map off of a top 4 team. But yeah, like I always just want to see like the best Counter-Strike matches that I can possibly see, and it's like if teams have no motivation to improve, then that's like not gonna happen. Like I'm not gonna see like better Counter-Strike matches. Like a lot of people, like especially that bet like skins and money and stuff on Counter-Strike matches, they're always like, you know, like it's always like 50-50. It could go either way, you know, like anything can happen. Like that's something that, like I really like about the Counter-Strike scene right now, is that all the like top teams are like really close. Like they can all beat each other on certain maps and in certain situations.
Yeah, so it's really like not with. I'm trying to think of a good comparison. Like you were, we talked about this before with like
you know, like there, yeah. Well, I mean, like you know, like there are a lot of examples like this in like modern sports too. You know, it's like, but there's that same like kind of gap. You know, it's like it's very clear like who's gonna win over who, and that's like why it's not like incredibly interesting for me to watch like regular sports. It's because I feel like, you know, it's like if it's like fucking, you know, some team you've like never heard of before versus like the former, well, I mean, I shouldn't really say that, but it's like you know, like it's normally like pretty clear cut, like unless like a team has had like a major roster change recently or like a new coach came in or something, it's, you know, it's gonna be the same shit as it's always been, you know.
Yeah,
like you can sit there and like root for your team to win, but like it's not even gonna be close, you know. Like I had whenever I was like 13, my grandfather bought us a season pass to this local college, and like all their home football games, we had a season pass, and we went to like almost all of them, and they lost like every fucking one. Jeez. Yeah, it was pretty rough. But I mean, it's like, you know, like even, you know, it's like the gap between like a top 4 team like Virtus.pro and Keydstars like might still be like far enough for Virtus.pro to win every time, but like as long as you can like have this semblance that like they can win, I feel like that's what makes it like really exciting, because it's like, especially like in football or soccer or whatever, like once one team is up like a certain number of points or whatever, there's just like no way for the other team to come back.